Hi everybody, how are you? I'm next in our lineup. I hope I have my mic plugged in all the way. I'm Lynn Smith and we are the Perry 10K and we thank you for being on our Share-a-thon today. It looks like everyone's catching up with us here. The topic today is, are people born good or bad? And we are the Perry 10K and I have to tell you, we are fabulous. If you are somebody that uses live streaming to help make a bigger impact, you need to be here with us. Or if you're somebody that thinks you want to start using live stream, you need to be here with us. So you need to go to perry10k.com/join. And I will tell you, membership has not opened up yet. There is a waiting list though, and when Katia opens up membership, people on the waiting list will get a priority. And let me tell you, you want to be here. This program is so much fun and you get so much value from it. And that's why we're all here, because we all want to make a bigger impact. We use live streaming as a way of doing that, and they're just super fun people to collaborate with. So if live streaming is your thing, or if you want it to be your thing, join us. Get your name on that waiting list, and when the doors open, you will be one of the first to apply. Now, this is not just pull out your credit card. This is an application process, which is how we are all so fabulous, because we're all picked and chosen for this program. Now, my name is Lynn Smith, and I do a weekly live stream for work at home women coaches and healers. So screenshot this or whatever you want to do with it. If you work from home and you are a woman coach or healer, I couldn't come on your scope, but I listened to you. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. That was not for me. If you are a work at home woman healer or coach, I do a live stream every Tuesday with you in mind, because I work at home too, and that gives us a lot of common ground. And it also means that we're running up some against the same obstacles. And my topic for next Tuesday is going to be, is perfectionism killing your marketing? So be sure to follow me so you get the notification for that. I'm so excited to be here because I haven't done one of these share-a-thons for weeks. I have been having health issues lately, which have been causing me to pull back on a lot of things, and I have been missing these. I've really been missing these. In fact, I'll give you a hint. I'm still not quite right today, and you can tell because I don't have my bright pink lipstick on. If you ever see me without my bright pink lipstick, you know I'm not doing very well. So I'm going to try and use up what energy I have left in these 10 minutes. And on top of that, I had a dentist appointment today, and up until a little while ago, my upper lip and my nose were completely numb. So I hope you can understand me. I'm going to try and articulate well enough. I didn't count on him giving me so many injections. So anyway, that's kind of wearing off, and I think I can talk pretty well now. So our topic today, are people born good or bad? And I really liked a couple of the comments that were brought up earlier. Angela had made the comment that we're all born with baggage. So true. Absolutely. We come into this world carrying baggage from our parents, and we, as young kids, we're like sponges for all their energy and emotions around things. And Shelley made the comment too that we all deal with our own environments, and our environments impact us. Yes. So you would think that we're just screwed from the very beginning, but actually we're not, because there's something that we have that the animal kingdom does not have, and that is free will, which means we can always make our own decisions. And in fact, I have an image on my phone because I found it one day on Facebook, and I just thought it was so true. It said, you are always one decision away from a completely different life. So even though we come into this world with baggage, and we are, in many cases, the victim of our environments, we have free will. We can make choices. And I remember years ago, I was at a 3-day Anthony Robbins program, and he was using an example of these two brothers. And to be honest, I don't even remember the context of that anymore. But here's how that story went. These two young men were both being interviewed because their father had been one of those in and out of prison kind of people. And he'd spent most of his life in prison. Of course, these kids have no good role model then. And what was interesting about these two young men being interviewed is they were each asked independently about how they turned out the way they did. And the answer that each of them gave is, well, what else could I be given who my father is? Now, here's the interesting part, because this really illustrates that it doesn't matter our baggage, it doesn't matter our environment. We've got free will and we can choose. One of these brothers was just like his dad, in and out of prison. In fact, he was in prison when he was being interviewed. But yet the other brother used his free will and the power to make decisions. He went off to college and had a very successful career. So it doesn't matter. 5 minutes already? Okay. It doesn't matter that, yes, we come into this world with baggage. It doesn't matter that we are, the product and many times the victim of our environments. We have this ability the animal kingdom does not have, and we have our free will. I mean, just because, like the illustration of those two young men, just because you didn't have a positive role model as a father, and in this extreme case, he spent most of his life in prison, doesn't mean that's what is sorry, having trouble talking. That doesn't mean that is your fate. And yes, it would suck to grow up that way. And yes, it sucks that we have all this baggage. And yes, it sucks that we didn't have the perfect environments growing up so that we could all be Mark Zuckerbergs and Oprahs. But we have the power of choice. We have free will. And we don't have to let those things be our crutches. We can rise above. Because we can decide, and maybe it's just a small decision, maybe, yeah, it's not your fate. That's what I was trying to say. But even small decisions can move us in a direction of, a bigger, better things. We don't have to be the product of our environment. We can rise above. And it doesn't have to even be that one day we decide that we're going to become president. It can just be that, maybe we decide that we want to be the first in our family to go to college. Or maybe we decide that we want to be that one that can be financially independent. Or maybe in some cases, you're the first one to not go to jail. But we have this power of decision. And we can make those decisions every day. And some days the decisions that we make can be big ones. But some days too, the decisions that we make are small ones. And so many times it's the tiny little steps that lead to the big glorious destination. So if we can just look at it from the perspective of, I have the power to choose. I don't have to be the victim of my circumstances. I can make the decision that I'm going to have a better life. And then just keep taking those small steps in that direction. We can create that better life. And I think that what happens when we come from, a family that's got a lot of baggage, and maybe that baggage has been the same baggage for generations, we sometimes get this idea that that is all we can have. That better things are just not in the cards for me because I've got these generations of, blue-collar workers, or generations of, family that have been in and out of jail. But we're not born with that fate. And all it takes is deciding that I can do better to start having better. Thank you, Jan. 2 minutes for me. Thank you. It's just that decision. And sometimes all it is a decision that I'm going to be something better, and we don't know how yet. But with that mindset of, I'm going to do better, with that mindset of, I'm going to have more, and I'm not going to be, the person that's incarcerated just because my parents were, the next step will show up. Oh, thank you. Yes, CJ, throw up some emojis because you're up in just a couple minutes. I forgot to ask him to do that. Thank you, Jan, for being on it. But we don't have to have this mentality that, because my family lives at this level, I can never live at this level. It's not etched in stone. And all we have to do is have that mindset of something can be different for me. And when the opportunity comes to take those small steps that something can be different for me, we'll recognize that. It's really just a mindset, because we can have that mindset of nothing's ever going to be any better for me than it is for my parents. And when we have that kind of mindset, we don't see opportunities as they come up. We've got these blinders on to the opportunity. But once we make that decision, once we use our free will, that I want more, and I'm going to have more, we see the opportunities around us. And they may be small opportunities, but every small opportunity moves us toward that bigger, better future. But when we have that mindset that I can only be what my family is, or that I had such a crappy childhood, I can never have more, we decide that when it doesn't have to be our fate, and then we put on those blinders. We don't see the opportunities that can sometimes be right there in front of us. I had this conversation one time with a client because she had been wanting a better job. She wanted a place where she could be really appreciated, but she didn't think that she could have it. And after doing some work together, and she started to realize she deserved that, she suddenly saw this sign that she had been walking by for like a week, and it was her perfect opportunity. Now, the interesting part about that, though, is because she hadn't decided yet that she was going to have more. For days, she walked right on past that sign that ended up being her perfect opportunity. So we cut ourselves off from opportunity when we make the decision that we can't be better than the family that we came from. But the exact opposite is true for us when we decide that I'm not going to be these negative things that my family have been. You know, like the example I gave of the two young men. One decided that he was not going to be that way, and another decided that that's all he could be, and therefore that was their destiny. But this idea of, you know, people being born good and bad, we've got free will. We could come from really crappy childhoods and decide that we are not going to be that way, because that free will makes us different than the animal kingdom. And it is a free will that we can exercise on every decision in our lives. And that is what makes us different as humans. Animals live by instinct. You know, animals don't go out and change the world. Humans go out and change the world. And it is by that decision of, I'm going to be more, I'm going to do more, I'm going to have more. I'm going to excel and I'm going to expand. And we don't have to be the baggage that we were born with. We don't have to be the victim of the crappy environments that we were raised in. It all starts with a decision. You can change the world, absolutely, but it starts with that decision. Because deciding to change the world doesn't mean the plan is going to be there right then and there. Deciding to change the world means changing that mindset. Oh yeah, he's live. Okay, good. Well, I haven't heard CJ in a while, so I'm looking forward to catching up with him. So thank you, everybody, for being here on behalf of the Perry 10K. We're so glad that you show up. This is why we're here. So let's all catch up with CJ. Bye, everybody.